Welcome, I'm Ryan Beckman, and I'm here to welcome you to Old Sturbridge Village for our 1830s Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving in the 1830s has many similarities to today. Mostly it's a huge feast that people had a lot of time to prepare ahead of time. It happens at the end of the harvest season, so there's a lot of things from the garden and from the fields that are able to be used right away. Turkeys were fairly different in the 19th century. They were a lot thinner, a lot smaller. It might be just maybe 10, 15 pounds at most. If you had turkey, that was great, but also a lot of different meats, roast lamb, and you might have a lot of meat pies. We roast our meats in a number of ways. We roast by using a string hanging down in front of the fire with skewers and is rotated. The other way to roast is with a tin kitchen, which is a reflector oven, which is a rotisserie with a spit through the middle. Mincemeat pie is a pie that some people might be familiar with today. In the 19th century, it actually included meat, usually beef, and often suet, and then a lot of different fruits such as apples and raisins. We're going to be having things like hot slaw. Hot slaw is cabbage that is essentially braised in a little bit of butter and vinegar and salt and pepper. And probably one of the most popular pies that is not popular anymore is something called Marlborough pudding, which is an apple lemon custard pie, which was as popular as Thanksgiving on the table in the 19th century. So we're using a birch twig whisk. Birch twigs are the wire whisks of the 19th century. So to cook some of our things today, we are going to be using hot embers. Generally, we put a bed of hot coals down, and then we'll put a trivet, and then perhaps a bowl over that. And it's almost like making a burner on a stove. So it's a way to make another source of heat. The 19th century etiquette is very different than it is in the modern day. Most folks might consider putting their napkin on their lap. In the 1830s, people tuck their napkin, or serviette as we'd call it, in their collar or pin it to their person if they were a young lady. Most things that people will notice first at Old Sturbridge Village is that we tend to eat with our knives rather than our forks. The fork was invented as a device to hold the meat with the fork in your left hand, and then you would convey the food to your mouth with your knife. Thank you. Yes.